Hey guys, welcome back to the Inner Recess Mod. Today I'm going to be taking a look at whatever is in the box. Now, this one seems bigger, and I can't quite figure out why exactly. Oh well. You know the usual. Same song and dance. It's packed a lot in here. Probably didn't have a box small enough for it, but who cares? Now, you know the usual, box within a box. That's this now for now. Ladies, gentlemen, and of course all configured of men, I present to you Kamen Rider Gavv Blizzard Sorbet. Wait, it's got some weight to it. Hold on a second. Yeah. Actually, one of my favorite forms for Gavv, even though he doesn't really use it too much, because unfortunately, a lot of Gavv's forms actually have time limits when you think about it. But to give you a good clip notes about this form and what leads up to it, Shuma and Hanzo during this point having a little bit of a rocky relationship. After he found out that Shuma is one of the members of the Stomach family, they kind of start beefing for a little bit. Well, more like Hanzo start beefing with Shuma. Then, of course, Shuma kind of felt bad because he couldn't tell Hanzo that he was one of the members of the Stomach family, but to be fair, Hanzo made it perfectly clear, if he finds a Granute, it's on sight, doesn't matter who it is. So, being how Shuma is half human, half Granute, you can see how that's a little awkward. But after the whole situation with Loda, and she reveals that he's the black sheep of the family, literally right after Shuma and Rakia save some people from the pressing part of the company back in the real world, Hanzo hears everything and he does not take it well, literally punching Shuma in the face for not telling him. So after that, Shuma just kind of gets stuck in his head for a little bit, and it's not well, to the point where he goes out to go get snacks, but because he's so lost in thought, it started affecting him mentally and physically, to the point where he passes out. Then we think Shuma is on a bender going around destroying things left and right just to get food. Come to find out, that was not Shuma. A lot of people think it was, but it wasn't. Heck, even Hanzo, realizing I may have made a mistake, thought Shuma was crashing out and becoming the true side of himself, which is an evil Granute, and tries to actually fight this version of Shuma. He even tells Sachika that Shuma is a Granute and is very dangerous. Her response to that is, why are you telling a secret that he should be telling me? But he said, aren't you scared? She said, yeah, but he's our baby boy, and you just told something that he should have told me because you're upset, so kick rocks. So, meanwhile, real Shuma is actually with his grandfather, well, Uncle Date. Uncle Date found him because he passed out because, like I said, he's not doing good. But to make matters worse, because he didn't tell Hanzo, it's affecting him to the point where he's made himself sick, to the point where he can't produce Gachizos from his stomach like he normally could. So, he's losing powers, he's not focused, and he's not at 100%, and he's getting sick. And because of that, a lot of the stuff that's happening right now, he's not at 100%. Then you come to find out that other Shuma is a clone. You won't find out where he came from until later. Now, I would have been talking about that if I got that figure of Bitter Gavv, but I might not get that down the road. If I do, just come back and look at this episode to talk about it. But anyway, so Shuma is still sick and trying to find a way to fight, but it's not working. Hanzo is also going down a dark path himself too. And because Shuma feels guilty for not telling him A, that he's a Granute, and B, a little bit down the road when they do finally make up about the first situation, Shuma's memories start to kick in, and then he remembers, oh, I met your mother. and I might be the reason why she's dead. Kind of put a restraint on their relationship again. So at that point, Shuma is just going through it, and it's not getting any better. Then, of course, because he's still not physically okay, he still can't produce Gachizos properly. Then, during the fight against Bitter Gavv, well, another one, because we come to find out there's multiple clones of these fuckers, and Shuma is just not in a good state. It's to the point where he can't even eat, like, regular foods right now to produce any type of Gachizos whatsoever. And then he remembers what his mother told him. Sometimes ice cream is good for a tummy ache and stuff like that. Conveniently, there just so happened to be a sorbet area that one of the Bitter Gavs was attacking. Sashka, being the homie she is, she tries to fight, but realizing this is not a good idea, then sees the sorbet area over there and grabs some ice cream for Shuma, thus giving us the Blizzard sorbet form. It's literally the powerful thing that he uses at this time, but then we find out in the next episode it's a time limit, because if he doesn't beat the thing within like a certain specific time, the Gachizo melts because, well, it is ice cream. But it's actually a very powerful one. The thing I've noticed about Shuma's forms is a lot of them burn his energy quickly, or they have time limits to them. Which honestly makes perfect sense, because some of the things he eats are still, even though a lot of them do take the form of his weapons and powers, they still follow the same properties of certain things. Case in point, hard candy is good for a while, and ice cream melts. So, you have to fight before everything melts. It does have some cool features though. But look at this. The coloring, I love so much. It's like a royal suit, plus the ice cream cones kind of look thick for it. The Gachizo for this form is an ice cream cone. It's also right there too. I'm not pulling it out. I'm afraid to lose that thing. But yeah. So we have here. I've been looking forward to this for a minute. Ooh, the shoulders. A little bit tight, but that's to be expected. I'm seeing people talking about, or at least showing this off on Twitter, because of course, since this is from Japan, they can get the figures faster. Do I really? You know what? I haven't done this in a while. So, I'm not going to take them apart. That's just too much. Yeah. But yeah, the cape doesn't feel bad at all. It feels like the design patterns are of a waffle cone, which is really sick. Ta-da! The hands don't look bad, actually. And we also have his weapon. Now, he can still use his regular sword, but in this form, he can breathe ice. If he, this is going to sound funny what I'm about to say, he'll lick himself and then blow ice like ice breath. And because of that, he can also endow his sword with that. Look at this. Look at this. This is sick. But yeah. So, this over here. Not much of an ab crunch, but to be fair, there's a lot right here. But yeah, this is the ice cream cone. There was one other ability that it has too. Does it spin? Does it spin? Does it spin? Does it... Yes! Okay, just like in the show, it spins depending on what ability he's using at the time. If he hits a jackpot by getting a full rotation, he can summon mini Gachizos with the little bike thing to actually do an attack, and it's not bad actually. See, those little articulation there. Pull up on his leg. Get double joints right in there, right in here. Not bad. The coloring is actually really cool. I'm not really much of a purple, but it fits perfectly for the design a little bit. I've heard some people say that this form isn't exactly his best, and I say everyone has an opinion. I like it. Yeah. There was a couple other figures that came out, or at least that were up for pre-order, that I probably should have got, like his amazing gummy form that he used one time in the close to the finale, but can he do a beautiful spread? Nah, not really, because the way the design is. The cape kind of gets in the way a little bit, but yeah, this is not a bad figure. Let's compare it to KujiKawaii. You can see a little bit of the same stuff in it in certain spots. And for more of a comparison, sorry Renee, you're gonna have to move for a sec. The last Gavv figure that I got, Cake King. You could see like the royal and regal designs for some of his upgrades down the road. The only ones that don't really get that later on is his final form. I heard they are actually starting to make his final form figures, which is Master Taste and I forgot what the actual name is for. Master Taste was his speed form, and his power form, I forgot what that's actually called. It's been a minute, but yeah. So, actually, it's really cool. Like I said, you can just see the intricate designs, plus the little swirls of the ice cream. Now, I'm going to swap his hand out. Be right back, because I think this is going to be a little more difficult than the usual ones. You know, I kind of have figured that the sword was going to be heavier because of all the ice plastic. But yeah, so apparently there's actually double joints in here. The one for the hand itself, and then of course for this, so this rotates. But yeah, this is actually really interesting, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. But yeah, I think that should do it. I'm probably going to order some more figures down the road, but first I'm going to have to take care of some life stuff too. So this will probably be the last unboxing I do for a minute. Probably, but who knows. Knowing my life, there's always something crazy that I might purchase down the road. But until then, I shall holler at y'all later. Cheers. Hey guys, really appreciate you watching all the way to the end of the video. If you're new here, why don't you do me a huge favor, like, comment, subscribe, especially if you want new content from me that I drop every Friday and Saturday. But it would also help me a lot if you share my content around. Help me grow and figure out what I need to work on. But yeah, until then, you have a good one, and I really do appreciate you taking a step into my mind, even if it was for a short period of time. You have a good one. Cheers.